So yeah, say thanks for joining us this morning, everyone. I'm really pleased that you could make it, and I'll hand over to Julie.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Julie Greenhill, as Angela has already advised, and I represent Philadelphia in both the UK and Ireland. I'm not sure if any of you have managed to visit Philadelphia, but I would certainly encourage you to do so on your next trip to the USA, especially if you're going to the East Coast. Okay, so in 2024, we were very lucky and pleased to be voted a top US city to visit in Philly, and that was by Lonely Planet in the UK, as well as the most walkable US city by USA Today. So getting to Philadelphia is really, really easy. We have direct services from London Heathrow with both American Airlines and British Airways. That's twice daily. We have services out of Dublin with American Airlines and Aer Lingus, and again, that is a daily service. And from May 2025, we will have a seasonal service out of Edinburgh into Philadelphia, and that will run from May until October. And that was just announced last week, so we're very, very happy and pleased about that. So we are an excellent East Coast gateway. We have some of the shortest times getting through immigration. It can take up to 20 minutes, half an hour on a bad day. Thankfully now, due to the ESTA and the fingerprinting, you can actually get through really, really quickly. And that's because now they have the e-gates. So that makes life an awful lot easier for UK and Irish passengers going through. Obviously, with Irish passengers, you actually have pre-clearance, which means that you will go through immigration in Dublin and you will land as a domestic passenger. So that makes a lot of ease for both Irish and UK clients who are going via Dublin. Getting from the airport to Philadelphia is really, really easy. It's only 13 kilometers away from downtown Philly. You can either get the SEPTA, which is a train, and they run every 20 minutes. I think this price is a little bit out of date. I think it's probably now about $7.50, and you can get the tickets from a kiosk actually in the airport, or you can get a Uber or taxi, and the price, again, we've got on here it's $32 US, but in rush hour that can go up to about 60 depending on traffic. Obviously it depends on what time of day you arrive, and it depends on how many passengers that are traveling, but sometimes getting a taxi or an Uber is actually cheaper. So where are we situated? We are situated halfway between New York City and Washington DC. Many passengers will actually arrive into New York or into Washington and use the Amtrak to visit the East Coast cities. As you can see, we are only 2 hours from Washington and only an hour and a half from New York. And that is more or less downtown to downtown. Many operators are actually selling Philadelphia as a part of a package, so including all of these US cities as well. So there's many ways that it can be sold. So if your clients are arriving into Philadelphia International Airport, they will arrive in the airport, which is to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. And as already advised, that taxi will take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes with a fare of anything between $30 and $60. If your clients are arriving on the Amtrak, they will arrive into 30th Street Station. So from 30th Street Station to downtown Philly, or Center City as we call it, again, clients can either get an Uber or they can get the SEPTA, which is the underground. Your clients will be staying anywhere within this oblong, which we call Center City. You can walk from one end to the other within 1 hour, north to south within 40 minutes. So as you can see, no car hire is required. It's a bit like, to a degree, New York. If you had car hire, you wouldn't use it, you would just park it. And also car parking fees are exceedingly expensive. You would be looking, if you've got clients on a self-drive as an example, to be paying about $60 a day in a hotel car park not to be used. So if your clients want a wider self-drive, I would suggest that they park their car at Centre City at the station over here, and then, or even either drop off their car and then rehire it again a couple of days later, because it will save them money. As I said, Centre City is very, very small. You can walk from one end to the other within an hour. I know Stuba have many hotels on offer, but you have a lot of Hilton and a lot of Marriott properties. One of the ones is the Logan. The Logan is situated here and is very, very close to what we call Museum Mile, which is where the Philadelphia Museum of Art is, and also the Barnes Foundation and the museums. We have the Hilton Philadelphia, which is at the other end, which is at Penn's Landing, which is down here. And you have a lot of nightlife down in this area, especially in the summer and the winter months. We have the Hilton Garden Inn, and we also have the Hampton Inn, which are in the Convention Centre district, again, very, very walkable. And then the Marriotts, again, are situated down by Penn's Landing, and some are in Rittenhouse Square. Now, all of these hotels are very, very central. There's not any that are more central than the others. If you have clients who are looking particularly for added value, then I would suggest the Hampton Inn Convention Centre, which is situated up here. They include breakfast within their rates. And then you also have the Holiday Inn Express, which is in the Gablehood, Midtown Village area, and that also includes breakfast within their rates. So what are the 5 reasons to visit? History, art, we're a very, very foodie city, shopping, and we have so much more, many events going on throughout the year. So Philadelphia was where the Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776, and also where you would expect to see the Liberty Bell. We have Independence Hall. Now, for many of you who may have visited Boston, you will see that some of the buildings look very, very similar. So Independence Hall actually looks quite like Quincy Market in Boston. We have the Liberty Bell, Museum of the American Revolution, National Constitution Center. So in what we call Museum Mile, which is where those particular areas of interest are, they are actually all free, apart from the Museum of the American Revolution. So if you have people who are really, really interested in history, what I would suggest is that they go to visit the Museum of the American Revolution first, then go to Independence Hall, and then go to the National Constitution Center, as it will tell the whole rounded story of the American Revolution. Because we are, or were, the first city, we also have many firsts, so the first library, the first mint, first zoo, art school, etc. From whichever part of the city you are in Philadelphia, you can see City Hall, so it's a very good landmark. Hopefully you won't get lost. And City Hall is used for many events throughout the year. Elfreth Alley is the oldest inhabited street in the US, hence the flags. And we are very, very popular because of our art scene. So I mentioned earlier the Museum Mile, which is this area here. We have the Franklin Institute, we have the Barnes Foundation, which is further up here, and we also have the Philadelphia Museum of Art. So many of you may recognise this building because of the film Rocky. This is where Rocky ran up and down the steps. Rocky did actually used to sit on top, but Rocky now sits by the side because actually, sadly, what was happening was that many people were running up and down, but didn't actually go into the museum, so they've moved him to the side. We have the Barnes Foundation, which is the largest privately owned collection of post-impressionist art. This collection does not travel, so if clients are very interested in art, they will actually have to come to Philadelphia to visit. We have over 4,500 murals in the city. This program started approximately 30 years ago because the city, I guess like many other cities in this country actually and in the US, were heavily graffitied. So the local authority came up with this brilliant idea of saying, well, why not actually put your good artists' talent to good use and actually come up with these amazing murals. All of the murals have a different story, and each one actually has to be signed off by the local residents. But you can see these whether you're walking, whether you're on a Segway, a bicycle, whatever. There are various ways that you can see these. The painting experience is new, so actually you can join in to help collate one of these murals. We have the Magic Gardens, which is an eclectic mix, as you can see, with bottles and tiles and all sorts of good things to make art. We have the Love statue, which many of you may recognise, and again, the view straight down is of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway with the museum at the back. The Rodin Museum, Pennsylvania Academy of Arts Museum. And we also have a lot of public art. So you'll see this pencil here. You kind of see what may appear to be random pieces of art across the city. It is actually now within the kind of local constitution that if there's any new building that goes up, then there must be a piece of public art as well that goes with that building. And then we have Calder Gardens, which is going to be opened in 2025. This is going to be situated near the Barnes Foundation and is really a place that people can just sit and contemplate. So that's kind of the serious stuff, but we have a lot more family-friendly things to do as well. So Museum of the Illusions, which are kind of popping up in many cities, not only in the US, but also in the UK as well. A lot of fun things to do. Wondrous Space, this is part of the Franklin Institute, and this is permanent, and as you can see, its lead sponsor is Boeing. This is new for 2024, the Hamilton Collection. And then for people who want to experience wide open spaces, we have Fairmount Park. This actually is one of the largest public spaces in the US, and we have a Japanese tea garden. Again, there's Segway rides, bicycles, running tracks, or if people just want a bit of peace and quiet. We have tax-free shopping. So Philadelphia and the state of Pennsylvania is tax-free on shoes and clothes. So I do appreciate at the moment the rate of exchange is not amazing, but you can get some good bargains. For example, if clients are looking to buy US trainers or jeans or anything that it's US branded, then you will get a deal. So people can do that in Old City. We have the Philadelphia Fashion District, which is kind of half outlet mall but half retail full price. Rittenhouse Row is really where you're going to see your high-end shopping. And then we have a variety of tours. So there's something to suit every pocket. There's something to suit every single taste. So for clients, as an example, who want to maybe take a day trip out of the city, then they can take a day trip to Longwood Gardens. Longwood Gardens is the largest show garden in the United States. Maybe not gardening is everybody's cup of tea, but in the summer months, as an example, they will have fountain shows that are set to music. Their fountains are larger than the ones that are at Bellagio. So again, it's very family friendly. You can have picnics. There's amazing concerts. And then in the winter, that turns into a winter wonderland for adults and children, actually. Lots of fairy lights, Christmas trees. It's very, very cool. And then for clients who are interested in the American Revolution, you have Valley Forge. Again, that tells the story of George Washington and the last encampment before they came into Philadelphia. And then for clients who want to experience Amish country, which is about 2 hours outside of Philadelphia, you can get a bus there as well. As I said, we're extremely foodie, so we have city food tours where you can experience local chocolate and local cuisine. Beyond the Bell is again another local company that just gives the full story of Philadelphia. As you would expect, the hop on, hop off, which I would actually suggest on arrival people should do, because it will just acclimatise them to the city. They will know, just go kind of get a bit of a feel. And professional sports. I'm sure many of you have clients who are really into their NFL, their hockey, basketball and baseball. We're very lucky in the respect that we have all 4 sports teams in one place in the city. So actually you can get the SEPTA, the local underground, to these sports stadiums within about 25 minutes. You don't have a 2-hour or 3-hour drive. They're all within the city limits. And as some of you may have seen, the Philadelphia fans are a little bit passionate about their sports, especially the Eagles. We have great nightlife. As you saw on the map, which I can go back to at the end, we have the 2 riversides, and in the summer and the winter, that they're great nightlife spots. As you would expect, any city we have clubs and pubs. Penn's Landing, we have ice skating in the winter, and we have roller skating in the summer. Cherry Street Pier, lots of foodie places and bars. And as I've already kind of said, we have lots of bars and restaurants, including pop-ups as well in the summer months. Reading Terminal Market is the oldest farmers market, as far as I'm aware, in the US. This is used not only by locals but tourists as well, and this is a great place to have breakfast. Really inexpensive, but also you can enjoy some really great donuts and chocolate and really good things. And of course, the Philadelphia cheesesteak, which obviously we're renowned for in the city. We actually have had the cheesesteak wars between Patos and Geno's, and I don't think anybody's going to say which one they prefer. But you can get these anywhere in Philly itself. We have many local chefs, including Stephen Starr, who has over 30 restaurants. And the restaurants aren't expensive in the whole scheme of things. Just highlighted some of the things that we do, or the events that we have throughout the year. I actually have been a bit winter heavy, but you'll kind of see as to the reasons why. So in November through to January, we have the City Hall Light Show, which again we have the ice skating in the winter, and we have the roller skating in the summer. The little tent up in the left-hand side is actually sells mulled wine and Christmas goodies. We have a Christmas village again, November through to December. Light show at Philadelphia Zoo, again November through to January. Macy's Christmas Light Show is amazing. This is an annual thing that's been happening for about 75 years. So this Christmas tree will be animated and we'll have music attached to this. It runs every hour, I believe, from November through to December, and it's normally packed at weekends. Holiday lights, again, pop-up bars and restaurants across the city. We have Winterfest with the ice skating again at Penn's Landing. Longwood Gardens, again, as I mentioned earlier on, we have the Christmas trees and lights and decorations. Philly Pops. So as you can see, there's lots going on over the Christmas and festive period. The Mama's Parade in January, very, very popular. Then in the spring, we have the Philadelphia Flower Show that runs either in March or in June. So this is the largest flower show, sorry, this is the oldest flower show in the world, I believe. It's actually older than Chelsea. We have the Chinese Lantern Festival, June through to August. Pride Month. Philly Beer Week. July. Summerfest. Spruce Street Harbour Park, which again is both winter and summer. Fall foliage. So Eastern State Penitentiary is an old prison penitentiary that closed about 80 years ago. It was actually where Al Capone was held. But in the Halloween months, they have these really great festivals that they put on there. People actually visit this anyway during the day. It's exceedingly popular. Fairmount Park, for those who want to experience the fall colours. Philadelphia Marathon. Thanksgiving. And then coming soon, we have this little thing called the FIFA World Cup. We are a host city. We will have 6 games. But we will not have the World Cup final. That goes to the neighbouring state of New Jersey, which is actually only an hour and a half up the road. And that kind of is Philadelphia in a nutshell. We do have a new Philadelphia International Visitors Guide. The link is here, which holds both itineraries, ideas. It's 36 pages. If you needed for us to send a copy to the client or you needed this digitally, please do let me know and I can get that sent over to you. But you will get some amazing ideas from the guide. And that is it. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, we do. We've got a few questions in the chat and I will do them in the order and a few comments actually.
Okay.
So we've got Isla who says Philadelphia is really beautiful. Thank you for that, Isla. Simon says loving a Scottish departure. So that's fantastic as well. Greg said he raced his boys up the steps and tied with the oldest person in the group up the rocky steps. We've had some really good comments about the murals. And Greg has also told us that Macy's Philly is definitely cheaper than New York. So there we go. That's good to know. And then we've got a question from Jeanette. How many nights would you recommend for a stay in Philly?
Okay, it depends on whether they're flying directly from UK and Ireland or whether they're coming in from New York or Washington. So if they are flying directly, I would definitely suggest 3 nights, because the way that the flights land, they wouldn't land until call it 4:30. By the time I get out of the airport, that first day really is a dead day, really, because probably most people want to go to their hotel and have something to eat and go to bed. So I would suggest 3 nights, 3 full days. Again, if you're coming in from New York or Washington, I would suggest they get there in the morning, not in the afternoon, because you're going to have the same situation where the traveling day could be a dead day. So yeah, 3 nights really, I think, would be ideal. Kind of going on that as well, most people say that they don't particularly like history, they don't particularly like art, but it's really funny when people, I think people have an expectation of what Philadelphia is all about, and when they get there, they will wander off to the historic district. It's kind of automatic, and you can spend a whole day down there, and the time will go by so quickly. So I think 3 nights is probably the best. One thing, so just going back to go forward, the one thing I did forget to mention is that in 2026, Norwegian Cruise Lines comes back into Philadelphia. So that is going to be the Norwegian Jewel, off the top of my head, and those cruises will go to the Canada and New England.
Okay, great. Got a comment from Simon. He's been to a Sixers game and it was definitely on par with watching the Knicks at the MSG. So there you go. This is another feather in your cap. We've got Daryl. Daryl is asking, is Reading Market open daily?
It is. It opens from 7 in the morning to 4:30 in the afternoon. I said it's a great place to have breakfast. Really, really cool. And as I said, it's used by tourists and locals.
Okay, sounds good. And then Simon and Joe have asked, what is a cheesesteak? Is it just cheese on steak?
Kind of. Kind of. It is really oh God, I can't remember what it is. It's steak that's chopped up into, well, it's actually, allegedly it's quite small pieces, but it actually isn't. It's huge pieces with a special kind of cheese put on top, and I can't remember the name of the cheese, but you can't get it here.
Not provolone or something, is it?
It's something like that. It's special cheese, yeah. And they are huge. So if you do want to try one when you go to Philadelphia, I would suggest you actually get one and share it by 2 people, because they are massive. It's
being the sort of the greedy person that I am, I think I've had one, and I think it's got like lots of onions, it's got peppers and stuff like that. But I would imagine the different restaurants have got their own variations and twists on it. Hence, they have the Philly cheesesteak competitions. So, but the premise of it is that, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, I'm afraid to say I've tried them several times. Right. Moving on with some more questions. Are there any pop-out shows? That's a question from Isla.
So any
pop art shows. Sorry, pop-up art shows.
Yeah, sorry.
Art shows. Sorry, I got there in the end.
Is it too early? Not enough coffee? So the Philadelphia Museum of Art have different exhibits all the time. So they have more of a wide-ranging art exhibition. So, for example, you could have, I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head now, and I can't. You could have something like, I think the last time, about 3 or 4 years ago, they had something on Yves Saint Laurent of all people, not to do with art at all, but it also was to do with his posters, as an example. But they'll have different themes and different things throughout the year. The Barnes Foundation tend to have their art never changes. They might change things around, but their art will never change. So that doesn't really answer your question, but yeah, that's the best I could do on that one.
Okay, no problem. And then a question from Nicola, and she's asking, what dates are Christmas activities available?
So they would really start from the second week of November onwards. I mean, in the States, Thanksgiving weekend is obviously their biggest holiday. So sure. You'll tend not to see things open on the last Thursday in November. Friday they'll start opening again, but the last Thursday of November, nothing normally happens at all. Everything is closed. But the markets will generally start in November onwards.
Okie dokie, thank you. Just another question from Simon. He's asking if you can share the link. I think there was a link to your digital brochure in the presentation.
I can.
Is that something we could perhaps put in the chat?
We can, but it's also on which you're going to share this with other people, or you're going to share because it's on the presentation itself, which can be. Let me see if I can find it now. Actually.
Okay, not to worry. Sorry if I put you on the spot.
Now, actually, while we're talking.
Okie dokie. And then we've got a question from Heidi, which might be a $64 million question. What is the average room price per night?
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah.
We're a
How long is a piece of string?
Well, exactly. Yeah. We're a convention cities, and we do get quite a few blackouts. We are more expensive Monday through Thursday. And the rates will become cheaper Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that kind of is kind of helpful.
Okay. Yeah.
The rates can start. I'm going to say they're probably about, depending on property, you could be about 175 upwards. It depends. It really does depend. It depends what's going on as well. I mean, if there's a big game, as an example, then your rooms are going to be sold out quite quickly and rates are going to go up. But yeah, that is a $6 million question. That probably wasn't very helpful.
No, well, actually, Heidi's come back and said that is very helpful. Thank you. I think definitely, understanding that it's a convention city and Monday to Thursday being, certainly more popular or more expensive, then, that's good to know. I guess it's not unlike, other well-known convention cities. It's a similar pattern, isn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Okie dokie. I think that's it. I've got one question, and unfortunately it's about food again.
From here, Nigel.
No, I was just wondering who Stephen Carr was. You mentioned him earlier on as a chef. Yeah. Star, sorry, I can't read my own writing. Yeah.
So Stephen Starr is a local chef, but he's also an entrepreneur. He encourages local chefs and helps sponsorship to create these new restaurants. So you've got a wide variety. You could have, for example, one that's Indian. You could have one that's Thai. You could have one that's that sells American cuisine. It's a real mix. But he kind of has really put Philly on the food scene. We also do have restaurants. I mean, obviously from the Philadelphia cheesesteak, you can see that we're quite meat heavy, but we have vegan restaurants. We have a variety. Nobody will starve.
Hang on, I've just had Isla. Sorry, what was the answer to my question? Her computer crashed. Let me just. Oh, right. Isla's question was about the pop-up art.
Oh, right. Sorry.
So if I can just ask you to repeat that answer, if that's okay.
So we don't. So the museum that will have pop-up art, it will be the oh god, my brain is the Philadelphia Museum of Art. That's going to have the museum that will have more up-to-date exhibitions, whereas the Barnes Foundation is more post impressionist art, and that doesn't move or travel. That's probably the best answer I can give you at the moment on that.
Okay, all right, no problem. Isla, so thank you very much. We did have a question, Joe. I did answer it in the chat. So Joe was asking, and Ange, this is a question for us, which I think I know the answer, but I'll let you answer it anyway. And asking if we sell tickets to the sports games.
Unfortunately, we don't. Purely accommodation only. As you mentioned earlier, Nigel, someone like Do Something Different may do it, or there are quite a few sports agents around that do tickets for various events, but unfortunately we don't do tickets for anything at all. Purely accommodation you get from us. We stick to what we're best at.
Do Something Different are very good. They do have on a hop on, hop off, and other tickets as well.
Okay, great, excellent, thank you.
Very
That's
much,
it
Julie.
at my end for the questions. Thank you everybody for all the questions and your participation.
Thanks, Nigel. And thank you, Julie. That was really interesting. And now making me think maybe I should be going to Philly next month and going to New York. So this is me finally making it to New York next month. I'll get to Philly at some point. Especially now as American Airlines are coming back with the direct service from Edinburgh next year, which will make it a lot easier and a lot more accessible for people north of the border. We also did say that there would be a prize of a Philadelphia goodie bag for everyone that participated would go into a prize draw. So while the webinar's been going on, I've run everything through a random number generator, keep it fair, and the winner selected by that was Daryl. Congratulations, Daryl. I'll drop you an email. We'll be in touch about organising to get your goodie bag over to you. And thank you very much, everyone, for participating. If you think of any questions that you've may not asked or anything, by all means, just drop us and drop me an email, and we can get the answer. We can find out the answers from Julie if need be. But anything at all, as always, just please let us know. We're always happy to help.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your time.
Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, everyone.
Good day.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.